Good morning, pre-algebra students. Today we are going to be doing your tutorial over 7.4 through 7.6. Just a quick refresher over all the things that we've done in these sections to prepare you for your test, which is next Tuesday. Please make sure that you are following along, taking extra notes if you need them. A lot of these slides will look familiar as you've already probably taken notes on some of them. But just a quick refresher before your assignment today. Alright, remember that congruent sides all have the same length. You can often classify triangles by the number of congruent sides they have. So a scalene triangle has no congruent sides. None of them are equal. An isosceles triangle has at least 2 congruent sides, and an equilateral triangle has at least 3. Okay? Also note that tick marks indicate the congruent sides of a figure. So when you see these little ticks on a triangle, we know that this side and this side are equal because of these marks right here. Same here. With these marks, we know that all 3 sides of that triangle are congruent. You can also classify triangles by their angles. So like this one is a right triangle. It obviously has one right angle that's equal to 90 degrees. An acute triangle has 3 acute angles. That means 3 angles less than 90 degrees. An obtuse triangle has 1 obtuse angle, an angle more than 90 degrees. Now you'll often see that triangles can sometimes have double descriptors, meaning you could have an obtuse scalene triangle, meaning one that has 1 obtuse angle and no congruent sides. Okay, so sometimes you'll be asked to identify triangles by both their sides and their angles at the same time. Okay, moving on to 7.5, we talked about the sum of the interior angles and polygons. We also were asked to identify polygons. So remember, page 324 is an important resource in your book. It tells you what a hexagon, how many sides a hexagon has, or a heptagon, or an octagon. So keep that in mind. That's not something I'm going to make you memorize for your test because I feel like your generation has it at their fingertips for Google. I mean, you could Google what a heptagon meant and it would tell you it's a 7-sided figure. So I'm going to let you make a note card for your test, but that's an important resource. We need to learn how to use those resources. So keep that in mind. Big star by it. Alright, for a polygon with n sides, the sum of the measures of the interior angles is n minus 2 times 180 degrees. Note that that's an important formula that you'll need to know for your test. It's also a formula you'll need to know how to manipulate. So you'll be practicing some of those today in your assignment. Okay, remember a regular polygon is a polygon with all sides congruent and all angles congruent. So to find the measure of each angle in a regular polygon, you need to divide the sum of the angle measures by the number of angles it has. Here we have an octagon. In this octagon, it's a regular polygon, meaning each of these angles are congruent. So, if you are to find the sum of the angles here, you would need to divide that by the number of angles you have. In this case, we would have the sum divided by 8 because there are 8 equal angles. 8 equal angles, kind of a tongue twister. So you need to make sure that you can recognize when it is a regular polygon and that you know that this is a nice little shortcut for you because it saves you a lot of work. If you know it's regular and they're all equal, you can just divide it by 8. Okay. In 7.6, we talked about areas. So these are important. This is probably some of the real-life math that you're going to take out of 7th grade. Make sure that you can use and manipulate these formulas to help you. The area of a parallelogram is base times height. Area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. And the area of a trapezoid is the height times base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2. Now yesterday in your notes, I also wrote them like this. 1/2 the base times the height. I also wrote 1/2 h b1 plus b2. Both are correct, but I think that these are the easier ones to work with because you can eliminate those fractions. So you may use whichever one you choose, but I will be doing the examples with the ones in the red boxes simply because I think that they're easier to work with. So I'm going to do a couple quick examples and then you'll get to your assignment. Okay, this is a parallelogram. I know that to find the area of a parallelogram, I need to do base times height. So I see my base here is 3 inches, my height is 6.5, and I would multiply those two together. When we have two letters sitting side by side, it signifies that we're multiplying. When I multiply them together, it's 19.5 inches squared. Remember, this inches squared, units squared, whatever the case may be for your unit of measurement, you need to square it. If you don't have that label, it is incorrect. So make sure that you include all of your labels. Okay, here's a triangle. I know that the area of a triangle is equal to the base times the height divided by 2. So my base is 14 and my height is 6. So I would do 14 times 6, and I would divide that by 2. You need to follow PEMDAS, so you do your multiplication first on top of the division bar, divided by 2. Your answer should be 42 meters squared. Again, labels are important. The last one is a trapezoid. So if I were to find the area of a trapezoid, I would need to find the height times the quantity of base 1 plus base 2, all divided by 2. So I'm going to label here. I'm going to say that 7 is my height, and that 8 is base 1, and 12 is base 2. Now all I'm going to do is plug in those values for their variables here. So I'm going to say 7 is the same as the height, base 1 is equal to 8, base 2 is equal to 12. I'm going to divide that by 2. Need to follow PEMDAS, so I'll do what's in the parentheses first. 7 times 20 divided by 2. When I do what's on top of the fraction bar first, I should get 70 feet squared. Okay, again, labels are important. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you look back to your email, it will tell you to do the checkpoint quiz 2 in your book. Please do that. Check your answers on the attachment and turn it into the tray. Following that, you may work on your problem of the week. If you have that completed, I would start making a list of some of the things that you want to incorporate on that note card for your test next Tuesday. Make sure that you are including formulas. You have a list of important vocabularies or things that you think might help you on the test, okay? Please work well and use your time efficiently.